Big win for my haters tonight. It's making me regret cheaping out and getting Cricket Wireless right now because I'm not getting any cell phone signal. Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Alec. I've been living out of my van for the past year and a half now. And for the past year, since the start of 2021, I've been traveling around the country. I've been to a lot of places, and I just wanted to show you guys some of my travels. And if you're interested in getting into van life, maybe it'll inspire you to visit these places as well. And maybe if you're also interested in van life, it'll inspire you in sort of a scared straight type of way. Inspire you not to get into van life. You watch these videos and you're like, okay, this is a lot more uncomfortable than I would have imagined. This does not look fun. I'm going to stop watching these videos. I'm going to get back to work and try to improve my life in a way that doesn't involve living out of a vehicle. Living in a van down by the river. And not even being the best van by the river, I found out. There's a lot of really cool vans. I'm in a low roof Ford E250. I'm homeless, and then I'm homeless, and then I'm in the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum of van lifers. Like, I'm lower middle class of homeless. I'm not on the streets homeless, but I'm not in one of those cool Mercedes Sprinters. But anyway, enough about that. Let's take a look at the latest spot that I went to, Joshua Tree, which was really cool to go to. I went there shortly after I visited the Salton Sea and Slab City. If you're interested in those specific places, I've got a video about that. So after I left the Salton Sea, that night I drove to Joshua Tree. It was getting pretty late at night, and I wanted to get to my camping spot, and so I was kind of pushing myself. Eventually I figured I just got to get some rest, pull off on the side of the road. I see some other vans camping like this. I guess I can just pull off, sleep here for a few hours, and then keep going. Right when I pulled off of the highway, I got into sand, and you can feel it right when you get into the sand. It's just too deep, and so I tried to get back out on the road, and I almost got back onto the highway, but my back left wheel got stuck, and I panicked. I would like to say that something else happened, but I absolutely panicked, and I did the rookie mistake of trying to hit the gas too much, and I just dug myself in way too deep to the point where it would be really, really difficult to get out of there. It's making me regret cheaping out and getting Cricket Wireless right now because I'm not getting any cell phone signal. There's a guy that's camping about 100 yards away, and I asked him if I could borrow his cell phone, and he was like, sure man, but I got an Obama phone, so I don't know if it'll work. And at that point I'm almost like, you know what dude, don't even bother. I'll just wait it out till morning. So after I talked to the guy with the Obama phone, I figured I'd just call it a night. Sleep in the van by the side of the road, pray that I didn't get whacked by a car driving by, and maybe try to walk into town in the morning or hope I can flag someone down that could pull me out. But I heard these people, they were camped a little ways below me. They're making some noise, maybe half mile away, not too far. And I saw just the glimmer of their firelight. So sucked it up, walked down there. And I felt weirder about going to talk to them because I could tell that it was a group of people and they were partying and having fun. And I would just be walking down there like, oh, I got stranded on the side of the road. Can you help me? But at this point, you don't have any other options. So you just got to do it at that point. Walk down there, and I see a group of people, and they're all kind of huddled together. I'm preparing my little speech in my head. Hey guys, I'm not a serial killer. Da, da, da. When I get up to them, I realize they're also in a van. So that's cool. Some other van life people. We kind of speak a common language, We know what it's like to pee in a jug and shower at a Planet Fitness. It's a good little shorthand that can help break the ice. But then I realized they are also stuck in the sand. They also have a white van also stuck in the sand. I found my soulmate. They were in kind of worse shape than me because they were way further off the road. They were fortunate enough though, they had AT&T, so one of them had 1 bar of cell phone service. They called AAA. It was like 3 hours until they were going to be able to come out. But, I mean, that's fine. And they were nice enough to let me hang out with them. They let me drink some Bud Lights so I could sober up before I got back out on the road. Let me play some of those card games with them. Just like a good camping time, They were way more inviting of a stranger than they should have been, really. So kudos to them for being so nice. And yeah, playing apples to apples or whatever we were playing. One of those, one of those games that you only play when you're going out camping or having your wine aunt over or whatever. When you're playing those games, you can't do like there'll be little things like for the next turn everyone has to do an accent, and you can, as a white guy you can do like a French accent, you can do an Australian accent, you can do an English accent. Those are all. If now you can do other accents, don't do those. Don't do as good as you think they are. Don't do them. Stick to French, English, Australian, or else you're going to weird people out. There was also another turn where the card goes, and I remember this. I didn't say anything at the time because I wanted to be nice, because they were being very nice by letting me hang out with them. But I remembered this girl. It was say the alphabet backwards, and she drew the card, and she was like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm super dyslexic." And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a superpower that you have. This is the one time being dyslexic helps. You should be able to do this easy. The card to you really basically just says, say the alphabet as you normally would. But one of the benefits of me running into these people is it showed me this super cool camping spot right outside of Joshua Tree, where if I was to go camp there again, this is the coolest spot. And I'll try to put the GPS of where it is if you guys want to go camp there, because it seemed like such an awesome spot. You have the entire area to yourself. It's basically land the government owns, but they're not really doing anything with, so they let people go camp there or shoot guns or hunt or whatever. It's a really cool alternative to traditional campsites, especially if you've got a van and you're a little more self-sufficient and you don't need all of the amenities of a campsite. You can stay out there for a max of 14 days. It's totally free, really cool, off the grid. You feel like you're out in nature a little bit more than a traditional campsite where people got their annoying kids running around and there's no privacy or anything. That night, before I was able to walk over to the people that were camping and use their cell phone, there were cars passing me on the highway and they would just drive right by. I wasn't trying to flag them down, but I was standing there like, hey, if you want to pull over, I could maybe use a hand. And I felt a little, abandoned by people driving by. You see someone in need and you're not doing anything. The next morning after I got pulled out of the sand, though, as I was driving out of the canyon, there was at least 2 or 3 other cars that were stuck in the sand. I didn't do anything. I did nothing. These people got to learn their lesson on their own. I teach a fish to fish, you know how the saying goes. I did learn after the fact, though, that being in a van, a lot of us do have something we can do if you get stuck in the sand. And it's this. A lot of people put these wood panels on the side. When you get stuck, what is recommended a lot of times is to put wood underneath the wheel, dig it out, put a plank under there. These are the perfect type of planks, especially if you have one that's really an inch thick here. So these are like an inch thick. These are a 1/4 inch thick. These aren't going to do anything. But if you really are desperate and you need to get out of there, take one of these off the side of the van, jam it under, and hopefully you can get out. You'll do some cosmetic damage to a van, but I mean, come on, you're already living in a van. It's not going to look cool anyway. So some minor damage to your wall that is very fixable, don't worry about that. You gotta get out of there safe. After that, it wasn't too long of a drive into the Joshua Tree Park, which was, the first time I was ever able to go there and experience the park, and I'd recommend that if you're living in the Southern California area. It's really not too far of a drive. It's worth checking out. And I learned my lesson. Don't drive into sand unless it's pretty tightly packed. In doing the research for buying a van, there were some that have 4-wheel drive, and I didn't understand why you would get one of those. This is why you get one of those. So if you do want to camp by Joshua Tree, this is kind of the GPS of the area that I was sort of in, and there's some cool spots over here. I would be really careful, though. When you're driving into these spots, make sure that at first eyeball it and look to see that the sand is packed down pretty well. And before you go driving too far off the road, I would actually get out of your car, walk it, and make sure that the sand is packed down. Because if you get caught in the sand just I think it's something like 10 feet or so from the road, AAA will take you out. They'll pull you out. They can do that fine. If you're more than that number of feet away from the road, they won't pull you out. and it costs a ton more money. So be really careful when you're driving off of there. So that was my van life experience out by Joshua Tree. And that's my tip. Be real careful when you're going by the sand. And hopefully this was informative to you. If not, maybe it was entertaining for you to laugh at my struggles and whatnot. Thanks for watching, guys. And take a look at my channel for more videos. Thanks.